The next one is Malaysian Government Securities, or MGS. Okay, what is actually MGS? This is basically the specimen for the MGS. Okay, we have a certificate here. Alright, they will state the amount. Apa lagi dia akan bagi tahu? I think the period of the MGS. Okay, so what is actually MGS? Okay, MGS are coupon-bearing long-term bond. Okay, as I said in the previous class, okay, in money market, we not only have a short-term instrument, we also have long-term instruments. So MGS is one of the long-term instruments under the money market, which issued by the government of Malaysia. That's why the name is Malaysian Government Securities. Means that the original issuer is actually Malaysian government. Why they issued the MGS? In order to raise funds from the domestic capital market. Okay. So MGS can be issued by way of tender through the principal dealer or issued by way of private placement to selected institutions. So for MGS, okay, there are two ways. Okay, there are two ways to issue the MGS. Either they can open to the public, okay, through the tender basis. Okay, they can bid lah. Or they can offer or issue to certain certain company, okay, that they already select. Okay, that's what we call it as a private placement. They're not open to the public, but they only open to the certain company that they already identified. Okay, that is what we call it as a private placement. Okay, for new issue through the auctions, the submission of bid will be on yield basis, and the coupon will be market determined based on the weighted average successfully yield on the issue, which is payable semi-annually. So when the Malaysian government, okay, they issued the MGS, okay, let's say they open to the public. So everybody can bid, okay, bid, not bid the price, but bid in terms of yield. So bid in terms of yield, let's say they ada 1 billion, okay, let's say they issued 1 billion. So they will issue 1 billion, so all the public will bid, okay, will bid. So 1 MGS, which is amounting 1 billion, okay, will be invested by different institutions or different individuals. They will allocate. Okay, dekat company ni berapa persen kita allocate. Dekat company ni berapa kita allocate to fulfill 1 billion. Okay, they not allocate only to specific or only to one company. Okay, but they allocate into several different companies. Okay, because normally MGS in terms of amount is quite big. Okay, so that's why they have to allocate the units of Malaysian government securities to a different institutions or different company. Okay, and normally the interest payment will commonly paid based on semi-annually basis. So in the secondary market, MGS are traded based on price basis. Okay, so if the first issuance of the MGS will be traded based on yield. But if they want to trade at the secondary market, will be trade based on price basis. Okay, remember that we learned in previous class that in order to trade the money market instrument, it can be traded either based on yield basis or based on price basis. For MGS, first issue based on yield, while the second trading based on price basis. All right, this is basically the characteristic and features of MGS. Okay, it is actually scriptless securities trading, system ke? Trading settlement kot, trading settlement, SSTS instrument. So scriptless. Scriptless means that they have no physical certificate. Okay, there is no physical certificate. Even though they have certificate, but the certificate is in the system. They're not printed out. They don't have a physical certificate. And no fixed schedule for its issuance. So the government of Malaysia, they can issue MGS at any time. There is no specific schedule for the issuance of MGS. Longest ever bond issued has original owner 21 years. So the maturity period is up to 21 years and issued by auction to appointed principal dealer. So there are principal dealer who will manage the issuance of MGS. Even though the original issuer is actually Malaysian government, but the principal dealer will manage in terms of how to issue, what are the price that they will issue, okay, how much they will issue the MGS, okay, will be managed by the principal dealers. So anybody can participate in auctions and interest-bearing notes with a coupon payment by semi-annually basis. So MGS is actually interest-bearing. So means that at the end of the maturity date, the investor will receive principal plus interest because it is interest-based, okay, not the discounted base. Traded in secondary market on price per 100 nominal per 100 units, okay, every price is quoted per 100 units of MGS and not active secondary trading. Why? Because unattractive rate and the tenure is too long. Even though MGS can be traded at the secondary market, but it's not really attractive to the investor. Okay? Not really attractive because of the rate. Okay, government MGS ni actually one of the instruments that kita kata almost zero risk, okay, because it is backed by the government, okay. That's why in terms of return for MGS is too low. Okay, sometimes it's not really attractive, okay, in order to trade in the secondary trading. And plus the tenure of the MGS is also too long. And then mainly held by financial institutions to fulfill statutory requirement. Okay, even though the interest rate, the rate is low, but the banking institution, they still want to invest because in order to fulfill, okay, statutory requirement, because they have to hold certain liquid asset. First, MGS ni highly liquid. Okay, one of the highly liquid instrument. The second is because of it is almost zero risk. Okay, even though the rate is unattractive, but the bank still invests, okay, in order to fulfill the requirement of SRR. And act as a benchmark for all Ringgit Malaysia bond issues. So MGS sometimes it's become the benchmark, okay, as a reference money market instruments for the company who want to issue the bond. Okay, if the company they want to issue the bond, so they have to determine the price. So how they determine the price is based on the Malaysian government securities. Okay, so in order to put the price, so they have to refer to the Malaysian government securities. Any question? Okay, dekat UM hujan ke?
Belum lagi. Tak.
Belum lagi.
Tak hujan.
Okay.
Ada.
Also, why hold MGS? Okay, first for investment purposes. Okay, MGS is source of fixed income into form of periodical coupon interest payment. Okay, some of the bank, of course lah, they nak invest with investment purposes to generate income because it provide fixed income. But some of them they hold because they want to fulfill the minimum statutory reserve requirement, and finally for the trading purposes. All right. This is example of MGS, okay, issued by the government 10 years, okay, in terms of maturity period. Okay, the amount. So let's take a look on the amount. 5 billion, okay, big amount, huge amount, okay. Normally MGS in terms of face value is very big, okay. That's why they have to allocate into different investor. Kan jarang lah kan ada investor yang sekali nak invest 3 billion kan. So they will allocate to different investor. Alright, the issuing date is 28th of September 2001 and they have a stock code. Okay, normally instruments, even stocks or money market instruments, they have specific code. Okay, in order to identify, okay, or identifier code, okay, for that particular instruments. So this is basically the the interest, okay, paid for that particular MGS. So starting from 28th of March, they paid, okay, 19,165. Okay, first interest payment. Okay, so these MDS, they paid interest every 28th of March and also every 28th of September, twice a year. Okay, so they will pay interest for the whole of the maturity period, okay, until at the end of the maturity period, okay, the investor will get back. Okay, 1 million is considered as their principal. Let's say, okay, they invest for every 1 million. Every 1 million, the investor will receive 19,165 every 6 months. Sorry dekat Jitra dia kilat lah. Hujan agak lebat lah. Okay. So on the maturity date, the investor will receive the principal 1 million plus the profit, which is 19,165. Okay, this is basically the selected price movement. Okay, price movement, this is actually movement of the price for the secondary trading. Remember, because MDS will be trade in the secondary trading based on the price basis. Okay. General bond, the price or valuation of bond is influenced by number of factors, including, okay. So in order to determine the price for the bond or MDS, normally it will consider a few factors. Okay, for example, value of government bond. If the company, let's say manufacturing company, let's say they want to issue bond. So as I said, they will refer to the MGS. Okay, what is actually price for MGS? Okay, so they will refer to the price of MGS and the coupon rate and the frequency. First, referring to the value of the bond or MGS or government bond. Okay, MGS is actually government bond. And coupon rate and also frequency, the maturity of the bond. Okay, the longer the period, the risky it is. Okay, if the bond, they have longer maturity period, so it is more risky. So when there is more risky means that the coupon must be higher, right? So this is other factors that determine the value or the price of the bond. So how to calculate, okay, the proceed for the bond or for the MGS, sorry, for the MGS. Okay, proceed equal to, okay, basically in terms of formula, okay, they have comprised of two elements. First is the principal, second is accrued interest. So this is the formula. Proceed equal to face value times price. Time price. When times price, so means that this is formula for the secondary trading. This is formula for the secondary trading because they use price. Okay, divided by 100 because price is always quoted by 100 units plus face value, C, which is coupon rate, times T, which is number of days between last interest payment and the value date, divided by 200 times E, which is number of days in the coupon period which settlement take place. Okay, so let's take a look on the example. Okay, let's say investor purchase 1 million of stocks, okay, with a code of MN01001B on 28th of March 2002 over spot at 93 ringgit and 50 cent. So purchase bila? Dia purchase on 28th of March 02. Okay. This is purchase date ataupun yes, transaction date. So but we don't know the issuing date. Issue date not mentioned. Okay, but we know the transaction date, which is on 28th of March 2002. Okay, at the spot. So if we define spot, okay, how many days it takes to settle? Kalau kita punya definition of spot ni. Macam mana kita define spot? Spot value date. Kalau same value, dia akan settle during the transaction date. But over spot, so normally dia akan ambil berapa hari? Berapa hari dia akan ambil? Ingat tak? Kalau spot dia akan ambil 2 business day. 2 business day to settle. Okay. So this is the price, RM93.50. Coupon is actually 3.833. Okay, coupon date is every 28th of September and 28th of March. The value date, okay, see, the value date or the settlement date is on the 1st of April. Even though they trade on 28th of March, but the value date is on the 1st of April. So 28, 29, 30, 31 and 1st of April, January, February, March. Okay. 1 day, 2nd day, 2 days, 3 days, and 4 days. So let's say 1 of April 02. So dekat sini kita tengok, okay, from the transaction date 28, okay, until 1st of April, 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes 4 days, meaning that even though the spot is 2 business day, maybe, okay, maybe there is a public holiday between this date. That's why they stated that the value date is on the 1st of April. Okay, on the 1st of April. If they don't mention the value date, so you have to settle here. You have to determine the settlement date should be here, 1st and 2nd, 2 business day. But here, in this case, they give value date, which is on 1st of April. That's why, okay, you have to remember whether it is on the same value date or spot value date or forward value date. Normally dia akan bagi spot lah. Kalau spot ni, kalau tak mention value date bila, means that kita kena kira 2 hari. But in this case, they mention, okay, maybe there is a public holiday between this date. That's why dia ambil 4 hari. Because for the spot value date, it defined as it takes 2 business day to settle the transaction. Okay, this is the settlement date. Macam saya kata, kita kena kira settlement date. Bukan bila dia trade, but bila dia punya settlement date. So, since MGS, we have 2 elements, which is principal and accrued interest. First, we calculate the principal. The principal equal to RM93.50. Okay, using this formula first. Face value times P divided by 100. Okay, face value, this is 1 million. Okay, face value is 1 million. Sorry. Uh, 1 million. Times price, which is RM93, sorry, 50 cents divided by 100. So we got 935,000. This is the principal. Okay, now we got the principal. The first element, okay, the principal. Okay, we got the principal already. Now we want to calculate the accrued interest. The accrued interest equal to 1 million. So with the face value 4. 4 dia kata apa? Dekat sini T. 4 is equal to T. What is T? Number of days between last interest payment and the value date. Last interest payment. Where is the last interest payment? When? When was the last interest payment? Bila last interest payment?
Uh, 28 Mac.
Yes, 28 March. Okay, the last interest payment is on 28 March. So, between 28 March and 1st of April. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, ataupun you all boleh kira, you start with 28 March, okay, 1 day. Okay, 29 is second day. 30 is day 3. And 31 is day 4. Okay, ataupun kita boleh buat macam ni lah. Okay. Alright, so 4 days. So 4 days is T. Okay, dia bagi kat sini lah. Okay. Times 3.833, which is coupon, divided by 200 times 184, which is E. Dia kata E ni apa? Number of days in coupon period in which settlement take place. Settlement take place dekat sini. Okay, so we have to calculate 184, okay, between March, 28 March. So sebelum ni 28 March kan? Dia bayar interest 28 of March until 28 of September. Okay, 28 March and 28 of September. Cuba kira dapat tak 184? Betul ke? Cuba kira dapat tak 184? Wah. For days on April is 30th, May 31, June, July, August, September until 28. Okay, 184. Okay. So you have to calculate from 28 of March until 28 of September. Okay. In order to calculate the dates, again, either we use this method or you have to calculate from 28 of March until 27 of September. Kita exclude date yang last tu. Okay, mana kita kira sampai 27 hari bulan 9. So dia akan dapat 184 lah. Ataupun guna jenis yang lompat-lompat macam ni lah. Okay. Baik, kira kalau dalam number, kita nak kira berapa hari, so kita kira sampai 27 hari bulan 9 or 27 of September. Please make sure that you calculate the right number of days. Correct number of days. Because it will affect the answer of your it will affect your answer. Okay, so we got the accrued interest is 460 ringgit, 16.63. So buyer pays the principal plus the interest equal to 935,416.63 cents. Okay, so this is the investor need to pay to the original owner. Okay, by buying the MGS or Malaysian government securities.